Hey friends and fam, welcome back to another Onmyoj video. If you've gotten to this point, I can assume the following is true. You now have a good understanding of what Shiki to and not to use for your PvE situations. You've XP grinded to about grade 4 or grade 5 or preferably grade 6, and you're starting to look at Soul 8 and Soul 10, wanting those higher grade souls and wanting to improve your damage. So the first topic of this video is going to be how to be a good teammate and how to be somebody that others want to play with. When I first started playing this game, I actually did not do any soul runs up until S8. By the time I got to S8, I realized that not a lot of people wanted to play with me. Mostly because I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't bringing Zash, I wasn't bringing Bunny, my DPS wasn't that great, I didn't have any of my speed tunings down, I didn't understand the correct order of what Shiki should go when. As I continued to play, I got a general idea of what people are looking for when they join a party and what makes them stay or leave. I'm also going to briefly go over the efficiency of running S8s or S10 and when you should do either or. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about the importance of finding and how to find your S10 or S8 parties, groups, guilds, friends, basically the group that you're going to be playing with and how to best go about that as well. Lastly, I want to brush up on how to get more sushi. But let's go ahead and start off with the first subject. The first subject being is how to be a useful teammate. So to be a useful teammate, and I'd say useful, I use that term like very loosely because you're not ever useless, but the more you can contribute, the more likely you're going to have effective, efficient, quick runs. The quicker your runs, the more time you have the rest of your day, basically. So let's start off with your DPS. Your DPS generally wants to be G5 or G6. Depending on what DPS it is, it can get away with less stats. So your DPS, we're going to talk about taking a look at your DPS. Here are the following things you're going to need. Other than your Seductress set passive or bonus passive, whatever you want to call it, generally speaking. Other than this right here, you're going to want to try and get your crit as high as possible to try and have those procs happen as much as possible as well. Basically, your damage probably won't be that high since your stats aren't looking that great, but if that crits, you're going to be more than useful to the team. It does percent damage, you're more than good to go. So if you have 80% crit, you're going to have useful damage 80% of the time, which is more than enough. Something I did not know about, and I wasn't very careful about when I first started playing, which bothered a lot of people I played with, was speed tuning my DPS. I didn't think it mattered much. So generally speaking, my Yoto was too fast and I thought it was cool as hell. I was like, sweet, my Yoto is going before everyone. She's dealing tons of damage. It wasn't the case. Yoto's last skill does the most damage when it goes last. Also, quick note, if you're going to be using Yotohime as your main DPS and she's the only DPS you have currently, then please, please, please max that last skill. It really does make a very large difference, and having it maxed really lets her shine to her true potential. If having it G5 or G6 doesn't matter that much. It's true that those stats really do, the jump from G5 to G6 is huge. You're going to see a huge improvement in your damage. But to be a useful teammate or to have to be somebody someone wants to run with, it's not the end of the world if your DPS is only G5 instead of G6. As long as your Seductress set procs, you're going to be dealing enough damage to clear the stages, depending on what stage you run. Might be a little harder for S10. It all depends on who you're running with. If you're running with somebody who's, very strong, it doesn't matter much at all. Moving past your DPS, I want to talk about your supports. I'm always going to be talking about your supports. I'm sorry to bring it up all the time. I just think it's a lot of people kind of neglect them. When you join a party, a lot of the times you're first joining this party, things aren't going to go well. Your speed tune might be off. You guys don't have the right coordination, and the run fails. But what you do at that point kind of like really makes a difference. If you just reach out, message the guy, or try and re-invite them, be like, hey, sec, let me fix my speed tuning. You're likely going to end up being able to do it the next time. So basically what I'm trying to say is, have a couple of souls for your support that you can swap out. So basically when you join a new party, you take note of who goes when, and if it looks like their DPS go in the right order. So if it looks like if it looks like you guys have, because swapping your speed on your DPS is a lot harder than swapping your speed on your supports. Specifically Zash, your bunny is always going to be the same speed for the most part, unless it's an upgrade. But fixing your Zash might be the spot where you need to work on. Basically, what you're gonna do is have a couple of souls that are already, like for me, this is mine. I have it set to PvP right now, so this spot is speed. But when I run PvE, I quickly swap out from this, and then I re-invite whoever I was running with last. If I need my Zash, and I'm sure you've seen that already in the soul section, just in the recent part, whoever you invited last is going to be, where is it? Latest. Just go ahead and invite them. You can even send them a quick message. Be like, hey, I'm trying to run S10, I'm trying to run S8, I just got my Zash tuned, let's keep going. With that said, if you have your DPS going in the right order, if you have your supports going in the right order, people are going to want to run with you. And everybody's trying to get their soul drops. Everybody wants to try and progress as much as possible. And honestly speaking, making friends and talking to these people are a lot of fun, the social aspect. And I rarely ever enjoyed the social aspect of video games. I'm always super focused on progression, super focused on trying to get to the top, trying to do my best. Thankfully, the people in this game are just really nice, so it works out really well. And more likely than not, the guys you're running with, if it's S8, don't know what they're doing either. So just tell them. Be like, hey, your Zash is a little too slow. Can you speed them up? I was actually pretty stubborn. Everybody running with me kept on being like, your Yoto's too fast. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Speed is good. I watched the guides. All the guides told me that speed is great. Yeah, basically, stubborn as hell. Just be like, hey, buddy, fix your Zash, please. Give it a try. Trust me. Moving forward from there, I'm going to talk about when the correct time to run S8 or S10 is. So basically I'm talking about this because I want to make sure that you guys don't get trapped into trying to run something that's above your level. Meaning that, you might have used co-op or freeze time bunny, whatever strategy that, people talk about here and there. Basically, you'll find it if you type it into YouTube or ask anyone in game. They'll be happy to explain it to you. To unlock S10, but then have a hard time running it. So if you've unlocked S10 and you do have a carry, when I say carry, I mean 2 people or 1 person that have the DPS to allow you to run S10 by simply bringing a support. It's nice. If you can get away with that, you should definitely do that. If you can find somebody, and it's not hard to find somebody to do that, by the way. A lot of people are happy to help. A lot of guilds are looking for new members. And easiest way to find those new members is to just be like, hey, I'm more than happy to help you guys with your progression, or I think you're a pretty cool person. Like, if you need some help, let me know. Plus, the game is very teamwork based as well. I'm gonna go over that a little later. But if you can't find a carry, I don't want you to get stuck being like, I only can run S10s, S8s are worthless. If you've just started running souls, you should be running S8s anyways. Getting the perfect drop for your G6 is really hard. They don't give you the substats you want, and when you do get the substats you want, you never get it on the right main stat. It takes a little bit of time. So you're probably going to be using G4s and G5s for longer than you want. So don't worry so much about going straight into S10s. Take your time in it. Do like a week of S8. Build at least like a decent set. So when you do get into S10, instead of trying to look for a carry, you can look for 2 other members who have 1 or 2 other good Shiki. You guys can do it together as a team. Moving on, I wanted to talk about the importance of basically finding a team that supports your growth and finding a guild that's dedicated to make sure that you are doing what's right. I honestly believe that finding your support, I'm going to say support group, it's not really a support group, finding just the group that best works for you is extremely important. There's tons of aspects of the game that are actually outside of the game, i.e. like Discord. Some people use lines. There's Reddit. There's obviously YouTube guides, etc. But as you start getting closer and closer to S8s and S10 runs, the grind becomes very long and boring, and you're doing the same thing every damn day. So, in a way, kind of like to help keep the game fun and exciting, find a group of people that you enjoy playing with. Find a group of people that, make the game a little more fun, give you something to have some competition with, and kind of enrich the game experience for you. So how do you go about finding these groups of people? Well, obviously the quickest way would just be chat and world chat. But if you're like me and you don't like world chat very much, nothing against you guys who enjoy world chat. I just never actually started using world chat until I made my own guild. Then I started looking for new members. I was like, I guess I better start chatting. Discord is also a really good tool to use. There's tons of Discord channels. A lot of the top guilds, a lot of the players have their guild messages as let's go ahead and I think Ace has, oh wow, there it is. Where's Ace? Well, regardless, I can't find him. Oh, here we go. Invitation only. It says invitation only. There's still a Discord down here though. If you message one of these guys, I messaged Nora a while ago when I first started playing. I ran into a very sweet player who was like, "You're welcome to join our Discord." I was like, "Thank you very much." And in joining their Discord, I met a lot of players who I play with on a daily basis. So go ahead, go out there, go talk to a few people, find a good Discord group, there's also in-game groups right here. You can even create your own in-game group. Basically, anytime you need an S10 run, just go ahead and type in S10, see if anybody's willing to run with you, and then add them afterwards. Once you've set up a good group that you run with, you can kind of try and make it a daily routine so you don't have to go through the speed tuning every single time that you start a new group. Moving on to the last subject that I touched up on in the beginning of this video is getting more sushi. So you understand that you need to create, so you understand that you want to form your groups in order to get efficient runs. You understand what runs to run, whether it's S8 or S10. You understand that you need to have your seductor set, flexible supports, and the fast bunny. And you're to the point where now you find yourself running out of sushi on a daily basis because you're just that great of a player and you have tons of friends and you run all day. Okay. No, I'm joking. The game doesn't give you enough sushi. I mean, I run through this way too quick. Anyways, let's go over real fast the different ways to get more sushi. Starting with the easiest. Well, I shouldn't say easiest. If you can clear realm raids, then it would be the easiest. If you have a hard time with realm raids, this might be not the easiest way for you to get sushi. But these often have a chance of giving you 4 sushi each in 30 runs. You can get, a small boost or a solid amount. The other ways are going to be your quests. Some of these quests over here give you sushi as well. You don't have to go out there spending sushi to get more. Basically, you ask a friend who has this shiki. Be like, "Hey, bud, can you let me kill you a little bit in spar? just a little, He's going to say, yeah, he's not going to be a jerk, I hope. Don't be a jerk. And then co-op as well. If any of your friends have sushi quests, they can always invite you as well. So if you can't clear realm raids and you don't have any quests to do, what do? You go over to your realm, and over here is your AP bento. Sweet. Leveling this to 60 really helps a lot. I was pretty lazy about this at first because honestly in the first couple of weeks of this game I never hit 100 sushi. I always kept it below 100 because I was always trying to run more. But as I kind of progressed into late game and the grind became more and more excruciatingly slow, and I honestly started to buy a lot more sushi as well, I found myself using the bento box a lot more. So it's a very good investment early. Go ahead and try and invest in that as well. Lastly as well, and this is the part where I tell you guys to hop onto Discord and join good groups, because this is where coordination and teamwork really helps you with your progression. Because in your realm, you can go ahead and thrust cards. Right here, this is a pretty low level one, but the higher grade it is, the more AP you get per hour. So if this was like, if I had a friend who also I knew is somebody who plays a lot and is always in need of more sushi, I would go ahead and message them on Discord or even in game, be like, hey bud, I got a fish card, like, do you want to swap cards? Or even just, even without saying, do you want to swap cards, say, hey, come over here and you can get some of my free sushi. Hopefully I went over everything I wanted to. Hopefully this was useful and you were able to take something out of it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in game.